A fifth-round rookie, sitting third on the Browns' depth chart, is making more from jersey sales than his entire 4-year contract, and he's outselling Mahomes and Lamar while Cleveland keeps him buried.
Shedeur Sanders' jersey is top 5 in the whole NFL. It's the reason why the #1 overall pick Cam Ward asked for Shedeur Sanders' jersey at the jersey reveal.
What's going on YouTube? This is Mad Dog TV coming back with breaking news. Shedeur Sanders has one of the top 5 highest selling NFL jerseys so far this NFL season. We're gonna talk about that in this video, so let's.
A fifth-round pick, sitting at QB3 on the depth chart, is making more money from jersey sales than his entire 4-year NFL contract. While the Cleveland Browns try to keep Shedeur Sanders buried, his fans are literally putting millions in his pocket, outselling superstars like Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. The #1 overall pick Cam Ward is begging for his jersey, and now we know exactly why. This isn't just about football anymore. This is about a phenomenon that's rewriting the rules of NFL stardom. You want to know how insane this situation has become? Let me paint you the full picture of what's happening behind the scenes in Cleveland, and why the NFL has never seen anything like Shedeur Sanders before.
Shedeur Sanders' jersey is in the top 5 in the whole NFL in jersey sales between March 1st and July 31st, 2025. Top 5 now. Shedeur Sanders outsold Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, Bo Nix, Jamar Gibbs, and Cooper DeJean. Tell me the last time you seen a 5th round pick have a jersey in the top 5 in the whole entire NFL in jersey sales.
We're talking about a guy who was drafted 144th overall. That's 5th round territory where most players are just happy to make a roster. But Shedeur? He's out here breaking records that seasoned veterans can only dream of. Between March 1st and July 31st, 2025, his jersey cracked the top 5 in the entire NFL. Not top 5 for rookies, not top 5 for quarterbacks, top 5 across every single player in the league. Think about that for a second. Patrick Mahomes, the golden boy who just won back-to-back Super Bowls, Shedeur outsold him. Lamar Jackson, the electric dual-threat MVP, outsold. Nick Chubb, Jamar Gibbs, Cooper Kupp, all household names with massive fan bases, and Shedeur Sanders is moving more merchandise than all of them. When has a QB3, and I mean a legitimate third-string quarterback sitting behind 2 other guys on the depth chart, when has that player ever had his jersey in the top 5 of NFL sales? I'll wait while you think about it. The answer is never, because this has never happened in the history of professional football.
So many fans have came to the Cleveland Browns because of Shedeur. This the whole point of prime equity, when you can monetize your brand and get paid for bringing new customers, new viewership to the Cleveland Browns, for as Shedeur bringing his support and his fans. This is what I'm talking about. And
is the kid progressing? Is he improving? Is he being developed by the Cleveland Browns?
Riz, history would tell us probably not. If I'm just being fair. But Riz, here's the other thing that you forget. Next year at this time, we're gonna have a 1st round draft pick on our roster at the quarterback position.
I told you, if it were me, if I was Dion, or if I had some sort of influence on, I'd tell him, you know what, trade me this. Let me go somewhere where I can have a chance to play. Chris, don't you think there are enough desperate teams out there? Because you know the Browns got it all figured out. You know, Dylan Gabriel's going to be their backup, and then they're going to find their franchise quarterback no matter what next year, right? Because we all believe that.
But here's where it gets really wild. The Cleveland Browns organization is sitting on a gold mine, and they don't even realize it. Or maybe they do realize it. And that's exactly why they're trying so hard to keep him down. Because once Shedeur gets his shot and proves what we all know he can do, those jersey sales are going to go through the roof even more. You see, what's happening here isn't just about football talent. This is about brand power, cultural impact, and the kind of magnetism that can't be taught in any coaching clinic. Shedeur brings something to the table that most NFL executives still don't fully understand. He brings his own audience. The legendary effect is real, and it's translating into real money. Fans who never cared about the Cleveland Browns are now buying Browns gear specifically because Shedeur Sanders is on the roster. That's called prime equity, the ability to monetize your personal brand and bring new customers, new viewership. new revenue streams to an organization just by being yourself. This is exactly what I've been talking about for months. When you have a player with Shedeur's level of cultural influence, you're not just getting a quarterback, you're getting a walking, talking marketing department. Every social media post, every interview, every time he steps on the field, he's generating value for the franchise that goes way beyond whatever his contract says, and the numbers prove it. Fans came in a movement, buying Shedeur jerseys in massive quantities, making him one of the top 5 selling jerseys in the entire NFL. This isn't some small market anomaly or a brief spike in curiosity purchases. This is sustained, passionate fan engagement that translates directly to revenue. But here's where the story gets even more interesting, and where a lot of people have been getting their facts completely wrong. There have been reports floating around about Shedeur making $250 million from jersey sales, with some people claiming he pocketed $14 million in commission. Let me set the record straight right now, because I called this months ago and I want to make sure you understand exactly how this works. The $250 million figure represents total revenue from jersey sales. That's the gross amount that all those jersey purchases generated. But Shedeur doesn't get to keep that entire amount. That's not how NFL player compensation works. And anyone telling you otherwise is either misinformed or trying to create controversy. Here's the real breakdown. As an NFL player, Shedeur receives a percentage of jersey sales through the NFLPA group licensing agreement. That percentage typically ranges from 2 to 4% of total sales. So if we're talking about $250 million in total jersey revenue, Shedeur's actual cut would be somewhere between $5 million and $10 million. Now, I know some of you are thinking, only $5 to $10 million? That doesn't sound like much. But hold up, let me put this in perspective for you. Shedeur Sanders was drafted in the 5th round with a 4-year contract worth approximately $4.6 million total. That means his jersey sales commission alone could potentially earn him more than his entire NFL contract. Think about that math for a minute. A 5th-round pick making more money from people wanting to wear his name on their back than from actually playing the sport professionally. That's not just rare. That's unprecedented in modern NFL history. That I broke this down months ago when the jersey sales numbers first started surfacing. I explained that players typically make between $3 to $5 per jersey sold through the NFLPA agreement. Even if Shedeur sold 1 million jerseys, which is entirely possible given his cultural impact, at $5 per jersey, that's $5 million right there. And here's the kicker. We don't even have the exact numbers of how many jerseys he's actually sold. The NFL and individual teams are notoriously secretive about specific merchandise figures. But when you're talking about top 5 in the entire league, you know those numbers are massive. But let me tell you something that really gets me fired up about this whole situation. If Shedeur had what I call a prime equity clause in his contract, which he doesn't, but he should, he could be making 20% of all merchandise bearing his name instead of that measly 2 to 4%. This is the concept I've been pushing for players with serious brand power. If you're bringing new fans, new viewers, new customers to an organization, you should get compensated accordingly. Shedeur Sanders isn't just a football player. He's a cultural phenomenon who's literally changing how people engage with the Cleveland Browns. The craziest part about all of this? The Browns front office seems determined to keep him buried on the depth chart. They've got him listed as QB3, behind guys who couldn't generate this kind of excitement if their lives depended on it. It's like they're trying to hide their most valuable marketing asset. And that brings up some serious questions about what's really going on in Cleveland. Are they genuinely evaluating talent based on football ability, or are there other factors at play? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like they're trying to undermine a player who's already proven he can generate more buzz and revenue than most of their established stars. This reminds me of the Colin Kaepernick situation, where talent and marketability got overshadowed by politics and organizational discomfort with a player's influence. They want to keep Shedeur quiet, keep him on the bench, maybe even trade him or cut him if they can get away with it. But here's the thing. You can't argue with numbers, and you can't argue with fan engagement. The fans have spoken with their wallets. When the number 1 overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, Cam Ward, is asking for Shedeur Sanders' jersey at the jersey reveal ceremony, that tells you everything you need to know about respect level among players. This isn't just about college legacy or draft position. This is about recognizing real impact and real influence. What we're witnessing is a complete shift in how NFL stardom works. It used to be simple: play well, get recognition, sell merchandise. But Shedeur has flipped that equation. He's selling merchandise at an elite level before he's even gotten his real shot to play. He's built anticipation and excitement that's translating to actual revenue streams. This is the future of professional sports marketing, whether the old-school NFL executives want to admit it or not. Players with authentic cultural connections and personal brands are going to drive business in ways that traditional scouting metrics never could predict. And here's what really gets me excited about Shedeur's situation. He's handling all of this pressure and controversy with incredible maturity. While people are trying to tear him down, questioning his draft position, creating narratives about him being overrated or problematic, he's just focusing on getting better and building his brand the right way. The man went from potentially being a top 2 pick to falling to the 5th round. Saw his guaranteed money drop from $46 million to $4.6 million. And instead of getting bitter or discouraged, he found a way to make that money back, and more, through pure marketability and fan connection. And that's not just impressive from a business standpoint. That's inspirational from a human standpoint. How many people could handle that kind of professional disappointment and turn it into a success story? How many players could maintain their confidence and work ethic while dealing with constant criticism and organizational politics? But here's where this story gets really interesting going forward. Right now, Shedeur is making millions while sitting on the bench. Imagine what happens when he actually gets his chance to play and showcase the talent that made him a Heisman finalist and one of the most productive quarterbacks in college football history. If his jersey sales are already top 5 in the NFL as a backup, what happens when he starts putting up numbers as a starter? What happens when he leads game-winning drives and creates highlight reel moments that get replayed on social media millions of times? The Browns might be trying to keep him quiet now, but eventually, business realities are going to force their hand. You can't ignore a player who's generating this level of revenue and fan engagement indefinitely. At some point, the financial benefits of featuring Shedeur become too obvious to ignore. And when that moment comes, when Shedeur Sanders finally gets his shot to prove what he can do on the field while maintaining this incredible off-field success, we might be witnessing the birth of a completely new model for NFL superstardom. This isn't just about one player or one team anymore. This is about how the entire league is going to adapt to players who understand modern media, who can build authentic connections with fans, and who can generate revenue streams that go way beyond traditional performance metrics. So here's what I want you to think about. Is Shedeur Sanders changing the game permanently? Or are the Browns making the biggest mistake in recent franchise history by not maximizing what they have? And more importantly, how long can they keep a player who's already proving his worth in ways the NFL has never seen before? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe, because this story is just getting started. And you know we're going to be covering every twist and turn as Shedeur continues to rewrite the rules of professional football success.